Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. I remember when I first started out as a designer, and I could feel like I was this close to being able to make some money. And if you've been to Design Bootcamp, you've heard my story. If you've read my book, Design, Profit, Prosper, which you can get if you just go to designprofitprosper.com, you can find the link to that. I talk about how I got started. And here is the thing. Most people, including you, are closer to success than you realize. And it's just within grasp. But for whatever reason, you haven't gotten to it. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my year after, my first year where I made no money, but my second year where I started making money. And I got a digital scrapbooking deal that worked out very well. I got a scrapbooking deal. I started designing from my mind's eye. And then 6 months later, I got a fabric deal and I started working for Northcott. Now, it seems so easy when I say it like that. Oh, I got this, and then I got this, and I got this. But I'm here to tell you that none of it was easy. And it was daily pushing very hard to figure out how to make it. Now, one of the things that is so interesting is I hear people, there's like a ton of excuses for why it is so difficult for anyone to make it, okay? And I'm going to tell you a few things. And if you've had these excuses, I am here to tell you they are not good excuses, okay? Number one, I had a part-time job that was like a full-time job where I worked at least 20 hours a week in office, and I worked several hours out of the office as well, okay? So I was working quite a bit, actually, all right? Second of all, I had two small children. I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, okay, when in the second year of me really doing this, okay? So I had very, very small children. And so my work hours, if you want to know, was from about 7:30 p.m. to midnight or 1 a.m. if it had to go that late to get my design career going. So it was not easy. And everybody seems to think that it must have been easy, Carina. And it just wasn't. I had lots of student debt. I had a Ph.D. in design. So I had monstrous amounts of student debt. I had two very small children, and, I didn't have a baby anymore, but those of you who've had toddlers, almost like I would say 12 months to like 3 is almost worse than having a baby. I love a little newborn baby. Like, they can't move, they can't go anywhere, they can sleep on you while you're working, okay? There's some benefits to a little baby. You're definitely tired, okay? You're just tired the whole time. You guys know what I'm talking about. But from 12 months to 3, they're mobile, they go everywhere. And if we're being honest, this is Felicity, who is my redhead. She would do things that I was like I didn't even understand how she knew how to do. I would walk out of the room and there she would be as I walked back in all the way, like for 2 seconds, and she would be up on the kitchen counter, like getting her own like cup of water or whatever. So great for independence, not so great for maybe possibly falling, which she never really did. But oh man, she would just climb everything. Like before I knew it, she was like on top of something. So it's not like I had these perfect kids who were not making a ruckus. I just was fully dedicated to creating a design business. And I am telling you, if I can do that, okay? Now, I did go to design school before this, right? And I did have small children while I was in design school, and I was teaching design at the time. But I'm telling you that very often it's just being willing to do the hard thing. That's why I feel so good about my design business now, because I was willing to do the hard stuff when it was hard, when my children were little. And I told you it's been 15 years since I've been in it. So now I have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old. They're 3 years apart right now. And then, of course, I have an elementary school kid as well. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of people, if you're starting right now, like this is an amazing time to start a design career. but you have to put in more effort now. You really do. You have to put in more effort. And most people are unwilling to do it. They're unwilling to pull the 8 or 7:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning. I think a lot of people also think, my time as a creative director, as the creative director of Cartabella, was just like an easy breezy situation. I'm going to tell you right now, it was not. In fact, I took that deal with them, and it was kind of a unique situation. They paid into my company to do all of their design work. So all the designers were actually contracted with me, not with Cartabella, okay? I don't exactly remember the whole situation, but basically I got a commission on everybody who was working with me. And I was pregnant with my youngest, Charlie, at the time, and who is now, he's 10. So it's been a few years since that happened. But I remember having him. And then, if you want to know, my assistant showed up at the hospital because we had to do a meeting and do press checks from the hospital. Okay. First of all, not the best way to manage your life. That's me. Okay. Wasn't managing it great, but we were under a deadline and some things had happened, and, it had to get done. Second of all, I spent, at the time, CHA, which is the Craft and Hobby Association, which was in January. We were under deadline for so many things during the month of November and December. And during those 2 months, I had a newborn baby that I was taking care of in the middle of the night. And I was doing Cartabella basically full time. And I didn't sleep but a couple of hours every single night. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you this to be like, you have to do this in order to create a design career. In fact, I actually think the opposite is true, especially what I'm able to teach my designers now. My designers in my program start making money faster than I ever made it. And almost everyone makes more money than I ever made in year one. So they get to bypass all the things that I experienced because we just have a better feel for the algorithms and what needs to be done in order to make money. It's a really beautiful thing. The reason I'm telling you this is because sometimes I get the sense, because of some of the questions I have, that my life must have been very easy, that design came very easy to me. And being a designer, yes, I loved it. And being a designer came easy, but understanding clients did not come easy to me. Trying to be a stay-at-home mom while I was running another company plus my own company, getting contracts with other companies, these were not easy things. They did not happen just by chance. They happened because I was willing to put in the work, and I got really smart and strategic about the way that I was doing things. When I did that, it was everything. And I am talking to you a lot about working hard, but it wasn't just working hard. It was definitely working smart and getting the right deals, which you can do. You guys, success is so within grasp. Like those of you who are doing this as a second career, those of you who are coming out of it from being a stay-at-home mom and your kids are transitioning to college, those of you who are, like wanting it to be a retirement career that brings in some money, success is 100% possible faster than you have any idea of. Faster than any idea of. And so I want to make that abundantly clear that it wasn't easy for me and that it isn't going to be easy, but it also doesn't have to be that hard. It actually can be very systematic. Some of you who don't have daytime jobs, you could work a solid 6 to 7 hour day and make a lot of money doing this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Those of you who want to do it part-time and you want to do this 4 hours a day, it will take you a little longer to get here because it's all about compounding. I personally love my designers to work really hard at it the first 3 years, and then you can take your hours down from there. It's a lot easier. Clearly, as I started my program, I've had to take my design hours way down. We still make money in my design business. That's the power of doing it over a long period of time. All right. Guys, success it's so close. It's within your grasp. And, everyone thinks that means it has to happen tomorrow. Guys, close is also within the next year. I looked at my life back then, young mom, working a job, building my business at the same time. And I just remember year after year how much my life changed. It changed so dramatically. financially, with where my kids were, all of that stuff. And so you have to be okay and excited about that change and ready for it to keep that momentum going as a designer. All right, hopefully this helped. And those of you who are just feeling like you're on the cusp, you are on the cusp. You just need to continue to put in the time. I highly recommend getting some education and some community, networking. Those things will make you go much faster and push you forward as you become a designer.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.